Social media addiction makes you less social in real life. And in this video, I'm going to talk about it. So I'm going to get into it really quickly. Now, there are numerous reasons why social media has a negative impact on your in real life social interactions. And the first aspect that I want to talk about is how social media makes you uncooperative. Now, how does it make you uncooperative? It makes you uncooperative because if you're used to interacting with others online through a screen where there's a barrier between you and the other person you're talking to, well, you can put on this facade or an avatar, an image, a creation of a character, a projection of who you want the other person to think you are. And that may not be reflective of who you are in reality in real life. So you craft a persona online that is disconnected from your authentic self in real life. Now, this disconnect allows you to do things online that you wouldn't do in real life. So when you're in real life with others in a social interaction, you have to be cooperative. Otherwise, if you're not cooperative, you're not going to get along with those you're communicating with. You say the wrong thing, you insult somebody, you don't adhere to the social standards and the norms and the rules, you can get hit in the face, you can get punched, you can get assaulted, you could get verbally abused. At worst, you might end up losing your life if you trigger the wrong person. There's consequences. You can end up on the wrong side of the law. You can face reprimand at work, at school. You can lose relationships. There's all this fallout that can occur from a sour in real life social interaction that you're shielded from online because you have the screen in front of you. So you can act in a way that bypasses the social norms of an in real life interaction. And this makes you less cooperative. So if you're used to always being terminally online and you try to have social interactions in real life, you might find that you're more anxious because you're not sure how to reconcile your online persona with how you're supposed to act in real life. So you're trying to adjust, and there might be a conflict and a friction, and until you get more experience with in real life relationships, you're going to have this anxiety that's always going to be with you because you're so stuck in that online persona mode and you can't act like that in real life, and thus you're anxious. Now, the second aspect of social media having a detrimental effect on not only your social interactions, but also your subjective well-being and happiness in life is the factor of comparison. When you're always on social media, you're comparing yourself to the best ideal self of what others project themselves to be. So there's always this idyllic vision, this image that people are presenting of themselves that represents their best crafted self. So it's like a slice out of a person's life that may not be reflective of the entire character of who they are. It's not going to capture the imperfections of their human self. It's just going to be an edited, framed picture of who they are. So when we're comparing ourselves to that, we start feeling inadequate. We feel like we're not enough. We feel like we have to do more to reach this standard, this golden, lofty standard that is so far in the clouds, we're never going to be able to reach it. And if we don't put in the same effort, or if we're not as good looking as somebody, or if we don't have the same amount of material wealth, the same clothes, the same cars, the gear, the same women, the boyfriends, whatever, then we're going to feel like we're missing something, and that's going to create sadness, and we might find that we're depressed because we're not able to live up to this unrealistic standard. And this leads to the third negative detrimental effect of social media addiction is competition, right? So now that we're comparing ourselves to others, we feel that we have to compete with one another. And competition, while healthy competition is good and it can stir us to grow beyond our limit, Unhealthy competition leads to social degradation. It leads to lack of group cohesion. So this hurts our ability to interact with others on a social level because we see others as competition, as people that we need to surpass rather than come together and work with. So we always see them as an obstacle rather than as maybe a friend or another soul, another being, another human that's struggling with the same things we're struggling with. No, we see them as an obstacle that we need to overcome and surpass so that we can get more gratification from the social media likes and things of this nature. And the last negative aspect that I want to touch on, there's many more, but I want to try to keep this video as short as I can. The last aspect that is very detrimental to social interaction is social media does not provide non-verbal communication cues. And this is very important in understanding what another person's intentions are. When we're talking through a screen, we're not reading non-verbal cues. So we're only either reading the text or we're reading images, but we're not seeing the micro expressions on another person's face. And we read these micro expressions, these nonverbal cues on an unconscious level, and we internalize the cues and we come to a judgment of what the other person's intentions really are. So when we're online, we're not able to get these nonverbal cues, and this can lead to misunderstandings, miscommunications. It can lead to arguments. It could lead to disagreements and strife and fallout because we're not reading the nonverbal cues. So then we have to assume what another person's intentions are, and we can't really assume too well based on text because a text can be interpreted in several different ways. The best thing we can do to ameliorate this situation is to use an emoji or to explicitly state our intention and our emotion behind our text message. So in real life, we can get these nonverbal cues, but online we can't. So we might read too much into a message and we'll project our own assumption, our own emotion onto what that intention is behind the message. Even if that intention is wrong, we might run with that intention and we'll start harboring resentments, and this can create conflict, and it leads to anxiety and pressure, and we end up dissolving relationships and friendships because of this. I know, I've done it several times, and that's why I try to stay off social media. I prefer to have in real life communication, relationships, because it's just a mess online through social media avenues and platforms. So I hope this video finds you well and urges you to emphasize in real life IRL communication over social media addiction and comparison. So give me a like and subscribe. Check out this video for more.